So it's been a little while, much longer than I actually intended for this to be since my last theory video. But between all the channels and drama with the t-shirts, I just haven't had time to really sit down and write out my thoughts or even just do a free verse one of these. But I'm back at it again with another theory video, and this one, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to do one about the best human, Sunset Shimmer, and I don't think I've hidden the fact that I enjoy her more than any other character in the show, with the exception of Trixie and Adagio. But even I must admit that she's not the most interesting. No, my friend, there are far more interesting characters in the show. Characters that are so interesting, in fact, and so deep that if you actually stop to maybe do some real analysis, you would realize that the next princess is staring you right in the face. A lot of you may be like,
Fluttershy, she's even more boring than Apple Horse and Dress Horse combined. Disliked, unsubscribed, I'm going back to Brony Notion.
Look, I understand you guys have every reason to dislike her. I mean, she's ugly and boring, and look at that coat color. Piss yellow. No. Cheeto Crust Orange is obviously the superior color scheme. But all jokes aside, she's the most timid of the main six and obviously the least outgoing. Though because you read the title, I'm sure you're guessing that there's about to be a butt coming here somewhere. So here it is. If you break down her character, she may be more magical than Twilight, Sunset, and Trixie combined. And she may even embody the strongest elements of each faction. That's Earth Pony, Pegasus, and yes, even unicorns.
But Molly, how can a Pegasus be more magical than a unicorn? It doesn't make any sense. Also, you're ugly and gay.
Oh dear commenter. All you have to do is look a little closer at the character. You see, we've known for a while that Fluttershy has some talents from her cutie mark, much like every other character, such as her connection with the living creatures in nature, much like an Earth Pony. But she's able to go a step further and is able to communicate with a large array of species, which we see isn't an inherent property of Pegasus or unicorns, but it does fall mostly in line with the Earth Pony faction. Still, it's a bit above simply being able to have a green thumb, or I guess hoof in this case. There seems to be some sort of bond with Winona and Applejack, and Winona does seem to possess some sort of higher intellect than Earth-based creatures. But then again, most of them seem to have that. And while Applejack seems to have an emotional connection, it does seem like there's still a barrier between them. Mainly the whole language barrier. So Fluttershy is in tune with nature more than half the Earth Ponies that are featured in the show. The next notable thing is the stare. While not much is actually known about it, we can see that the stare has a large range of effects on different creatures. The primary function seems to be to freeze and calm down the creature. Some would be quick to point out that the stare is just some sort of guilt trip, and Fluttershy is simply guilting the animals into calming down or stop misbehaving. But if this was true, then why does the stare work on herself? And why does it work on the fruit bats, who actively disrespected her and showed absolutely no pity to her beforehand? I really doubt that if you're trying to guilt trip a murderer, that they're just going to crumble in your hand and stop stabbing you in the face. So we can assume, and there is a bit of stretching and pulling going on here, but that's gonna happen with any theory. It seems more magical based, and in a world where unicorns actually exist and magic is an actual inherent property of each faction, I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that her stare is some sort of magical property. We also don't see her having to practice the stare like a unicorn practices magic. It seems to be an inherent property of her simply existing. Now, there could be some sort of backstory that we don't know, but from what we've seen, Fluttershy is pretty transparent. It actually makes you wonder why Twilight hasn't tried to break down the stare like she tried to break down Pinky's pinky sense. And obviously for the last group, she's a Pegasus. That's not really where it ends. Her wing power is pretty damn lackluster. Her ability to bust clouds is almost non-existent. In fact, she barely even flies. Her overall strength as a Pegasus, and her strength is nothing to really write home about either. But to be fair, that purple Poindexter pony could use to drop a few pounds. No, my friend, we're not talking about her as just a normal Pegasus, and that's why she gets the Pegasus faction. We're talking about the fact that she's a bat pony. Now, a lot of you guys may reference it, but she was cured. Obviously not. If you look at the end, she still has her teeth and stuff like that. And while it wasn't referenced in the latest Nightmare Night episode, we can still infer that she does have some sort of intrinsic bat property in her. And we saw that when she did have those powers, her flight, her strength, everything seems to be increased. So that's why I give her the Pegasus faction, besides the fact that she's just normal Pegasus. If you look, she was even out doing Rainbow Dash. None of the main six could catch her. And that, my friends, is why Fluttershy might just be your next princess staring you in the face. So, now that you guys have watched my video and subsequently disliked or liked the video, really hoping it's the last one, why don't you consider becoming a patron? We have tiers from $5 to $50, and each tier gets you kind of a ticket into a raffle for a free shirt, plus some various other things. If you don't want to do that, you could just actually go and buy a shirt from our Teespring or our Spreadshirts account. Also, some of these lines were done by Kate Bug, and her channel will be linked down in the description. You should definitely go check her out as well. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll try to make these a little bit more frequently. Peace to them out.